There comes a moment in a man's life when the noise of the world begins to lose its authority over his heart, when the voices that once guided him but from a deeper place, as if his soul were growling softly, dissatisfied with the shape of the life it has been given. With an ache that no pleasure can anesthetize, with the growing suspicion that the script everyone around him seems to follow so effortlessly was never meant to be his. He tries for a while to resist this shift, to push himself back into the familiar rhythm, to want what he is supposed to want. But now, as he steps into this unfamiliar inner terrain, he begins to discover something unsettling. This is not a gentle realization. It humbles him. It unsettles him. Sometimes it breaks him open in ways he did not expect. Yet it is here in this uneasy intimacy with himself that he begins to understand why his path is narrowing, why fewer people seem able to walk beside him, and why the loneliness he once feared is slowly becoming the doorway to a depth he never knew existed. He sees how easily most people trade their freedom for comfort without ever consciously choosing to do so. How they adopt identities the way one inherits a family name, never questioning whether it truly belongs to them. He watches how beliefs are passed along like heirlooms, how fears are recycled from generation to generation, how opinions spread not because they are true, but because they are familiar. And for the first time, he realizes how deeply he himself once lived inside that same machinery, mistaking repetition for truth and consensus for meaning. He grieves the years spent chasing symbols of success that never satisfied him, the relationships built on unspoken compromises, the dreams that were never truly his to begin with. He begins to feel a growing dissonance between himself and the crowd, not in behavior at first, but in perception. Where others see certainty, he sees fragility. Where others hear confident declarations, he hears borrowed voices speaking through borrowed convictions. He is no longer seduced by slogans or reassured by numbers. The fact that many believe something no longer convinces him that it is right. This inner shift isolates him in subtle ways. Conversations start to feel thinner. Jokes feel hollow. Shared outrage feels theatrical. He is not angry at people, nor does he feel superior to them. He simply feels out of sync, as if everyone else is dancing to a rhythm he can no longer hear. And therein lies one of the deepest solitude of the spiritually chosen man. Not that he is rejected, but that he slowly loses the ability to pretend participation in a story he no longer believes. This is the loneliness of quiet divergence, the aching awareness that the road he has stepped onto does not lead toward the crowd, but away from it into a landscape where there are fewer echoes and no guarantee of applause, only the unrelenting demand to be real. As he continues forward, the weight of freedom begins to press against his chest in ways he never anticipated. Before, when his life followed familiar patterns and socially approved milestones, his choices felt lighter, almost automatic. Every step he takes now feels irreversible, not because fate has trapped him, but because he has finally accepted that his life is truly his. But he does not retreat. Even when his hands trembled with uncertainty, he keeps walking. Not because he is fearless, but because he has discovered that the greater fear is to return to a life that no longer feels alive. It is not that these things are meaningless, but that they no longer feel central. He could try to drown them out with noise, with pleasure, with distraction, but he already knows where that road leads. And so, even when he longs for the comfort of unconscious belonging, he stays where he is, standing in the uneasy dignity of a man who can no longer pretend not to see. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the solitude begins to soften. What once felt like abandonment starts to feel like space. What once felt like emptiness begins to feel like possibility. In the absence of constant stimulation, he learns to listen more carefully to the movements of his own inner world. He becomes familiar with the subtle rhythms of his fears, his desires, his contradictions. He notices how his mind tries to seduce him back into old patterns, how his ego still seeks validation even in isolation, how his wounded parts still hunger for recognition. And instead of judging these tendencies, he learns to observe them. This observation marks a quiet turning point. He realizes that much of the loneliness he once felt was not caused by being alone, but by fleeing from himself. Now that he has stopped running, the silence becomes less hostile.